Alright, after a little status quo to wake us up, this is Mr. Turner, Pre-Calculus Honors, and I'm here to kind of go over some of the key ideas about the class before you get too deep into it, and make sure that everybody understands exactly what is being expected from them. Now you'll notice I have Pre-Calculus Honors, Math 126, and ACT Review. That's because this class is dual credit, and you're going to get CSN credit for Math 126 upon completion of a grade C or higher. Now, if you're not taking this as dual credit, then it's just pre-calculus. It's going to cover the same material but at a slightly different pace. The ACT review is because, as you guys know, the ACT test is a requirement for our Nevada high school diploma, so I'm going to get you ready on all the topics, but primarily the math topics, to get you ready for the ACT test later on in the school year. You'll see a list of 7 themes that I have here, and these are topics that I'm going to kind of discuss right now. I want to make sure that if you have questions, you'll know that you can get them answered by me, but at the same time, I want to try to clear up as many of them as I can right now. First, work and tests will be submitted on paper. Typically in an online class, you do everything online, but in this case, you're going to be doing your work just like in a regular, traditional classroom where you'll have assignments out of the book, you do all your work on paper, you'll show all your work neatly on paper, and that includes graphs. I want the graphs done on graph paper because when you use traditional paper, sometimes it's not so neat and difficult to understand. And of course, you're always going to set your scales with your graphs. Now, the work from each of the sections of material, that's what I'm going to grade before the test will even become available. So you'll have to complete the entire unit before the test becomes available. And of course, you're going to have to submit your assignments. I'm going to grade them. They're going to have to be at least a minimum of 40%, which is really not that difficult to do. But that way, when you have completed all the assignments, if there's 6 sections and you've covered all 6, you turn in your assignments, I've graded them all, then the test will become available. I do not want students trying to jump to the test because they're worth 100 points, whereas the assignment's worth 10 points each. Tests are available when the chapter's over. Actually, I kind of combined the first 2 there. But again, neat work here on the first one. The syllabus, what we cover, is similar to CSN because of the dual credit option. And that also goes to the idea that if you're going to stay here in the state of Nevada and you're going to be going to UNLV or you're going to be going to UNR, the pre-calculus class is designed to prepare you for the calculus class at UNLV, at UNR, Nevada State College, and so on. So we cover these topics, we'll be ready. We're using the same textbook. Avoid online pitfalls. If this is your first year here in an online class, you may not have developed some of the bad habits that the students that have been doing this class for a while. And bad habits, by that I mean students have a tendency not to memorize like they used to do. Because they can look back in the book. I mean, it's online. It's not time restricted. As far as doing an assignment, you only have 30 minutes. You have time. You could stretch it out over a few days. You could go back and look up stuff in the book in case you get stuck. Same thing with tests. I want you guys to get to a point where you remember the material, you remember the key ideas. Way too often, a student turns in an assignment, they get 100% on it, and I'll ask them a question about it later on, and they're not sure what to do because they had to look off of an example the whole way through and can't remember the steps without looking back at the book. I want you to try to get to a point where you understand the material well enough that you can do this without having to fall back to Googling something on your phone. Also, online pitfalls. One of the biggest problems with this is that students have a tendency not to use all of the resources that they have. There's a textbook. There are notes that I've handwritten and put into each one of the sections. There are examples worked out that are in the lesson with images provided, and of course videos. The videos are important to use because you may not have seen some of this material for a while or at all, and the videos will help to reinforce your understanding. So when I'm talking about online pitfalls, it means get after this stuff. Don't try to slack. Don't try to just jump right to an assignment to do it without having learned the lesson first. Academic integrity. That was a problem this past year. I had several students that were teaming up and doing one person's work 3 times. And of course it's easy to spot. I mean, they try to get clever about it at times, but it's easy to spot. One young man in one of my classes was logging on to somebody else's, using somebody else's password and stealing answers that way. And those classes became F's when it was caught. The tech team has picked up quite a bit on looking for such types of academic dishonesty. Also, I've had a lot of trouble with tutors. Tutors that should be there to help, but end up doing the work, and then the student doesn't understand how to do it. Well, how'd you get this answer? I don't remember. My dad helped me. I don't remember. The tutor was showing me. I forgot. I asked somebody else in my class, and they were showing me how to do it, and I don't remember how they did it. Well, they don't remember because the work was done for them, and they haven't spent the time and invested the thought to make sure that they understand how to do those kinds of problems, how to understand those kinds of concepts. So, key. If you get caught taking shortcuts, let's put it that way, there's a pretty good chance that we're going to have a parent conference, we're going to have an administrator there, and as far as the dual credit, if I see that you're cheating in the dual credit class, I will recommend that you do not receive the college credit. And then you may get switched back into the more traditional pre-calculus class. We'll see how that all works out. Ask questions when you're unsure. I'll be happy to help you with your questions, but you got to ask. You can't just hope that by chance somebody says something that kind of helps you out with that and answers it. Ask me questions. You can type in questions to me online. Send me an email, jturner@odysseyk12.org. But there's probably a better chance I can do a more thorough answer if we're talking face-to-face and we go over stuff like that then. Now, face-to-face, that brings up the one with the question mark. There's an outside chance that we'll be able to meet together as a class face-to-face each day during that 3rd or that 4th hour. That's for all pre-calculus. And of course, for the dual credit, we're definitely going to be meeting Wednesday afternoons for at least 1 hour. I'm hoping for an hour and a half, but at least 1 hour to thoroughly go over the topics and to keep you caught up. Lots of little short quizzes without the use of notes, without the use of textbooks are going to be sprinkled into that face-to-face time so that we can keep you motivated to stay caught up and to learn the material. But of course, the key here is to learn the material to make you ready for calculus, whether you take AP Calculus here at this school or at another school in high school, or go on to Calc 1 / Calc 2 at a university. So I'm hoping that not only will you understand the material and learn it, but that you'll get some enjoyment at the same time. I find math extremely interesting. I hope that you do too. I figure if you're in pre-calc honors, you've been with it for a while and you can kind of catch on to things. You got through your Algebra 2 honors or your Algebra 2 class, and that's usually a sign that you're ready to go on and learn some more. So any questions, you ask me. We'll have a good school year. Again, my name is Mr. Turner, and I'm here to help you. Thanks so much.